My home strip here, where I bring my Super Cub into. From where we're standing to the end is about 700 feet, and it's a one-way strip. There's power lines on that end. If I had to, I could turn and go out under the power lines or turn and climb out, but I haven't ever had to do that. Have a pretty good entryway into here. My windsock's here on the end of the barn, and the technique I use is just to come right over the cattails, just kind of almost skim them, and then I like to touch down right here where I'm standing. And it's a little bit of an uphill. If I hit back here, it could bounce, and the main thing is you want to touch down and not bounce it. Otherwise, if you bounce, then you end up using a lot of runway, wasting a lot of runway.
Okay, Eddie, tell us a little about your Super Cub.
This is a 1957 Super Cub. It has a 160 horse engine in it, Lycoming, a 320, and it's got the bore prop on it. I think it's an 82 inch and it's a 43 pitch.
That exhaust pipe looks awful big to me.
It's got the Atlee Dodge hot rod exhaust on it, which is, it doesn't have a baffle in it, so it's fairly noisy. But trying to, at this altitude, we're at 5,900 feet here, and I fly this thing all the way on up to 13,000. Those mountains over there, about 20, 30 miles, and I want as much air to go through this engine to make as much horsepower as I can. So that's why it's set up this way. And these are 29-inch bush wheels on it. And this is the airplane and the setup that I learned in. And I've got about 500 hours in this airplane. Not real high time, but a lot of time spent in the mountains. And I don't consider it mountain flying unless I'm above 10,000 feet. And there's a lot of high mountains here. And flying in the canyons and things like that, you really have to be aware of it. Always have it down and out. And just learn to respect high altitude and winds and things like that. You just need to know what the weather's doing and what your plane is capable of, and not push anything beyond what you should.
Excellent. And I notice you have VGs on there, vortex generators on your wings.
I do. And it came this way. This is all I've flown with. One of the things I do like about that is it really doesn't break and stall. It doesn't drop the nose. It mushes. And so once it starts mushing, to get out of a mush, you just either put more power into it or drop the nose and gain a little more airspeed, and it takes care of that.
It's kind of like cheating, isn't it?
It's cheating. I need all the cheating I can get. Speaking of which, these are AOS shocks on it.
Yes.
And that makes a much better pilot out of you when you land. You don't bounce like the lunges. So.
Well, let's walk around it and go all the way around it and take a look.
Sure.
Well, it is the correct color for a Super Cub. It's yellow, which is the Cub color.
It is.
And you do have a flying tail. These tails on these Cubs are trimmable. So there's a jack screw right there, and that goes up and down, so the whole tail trims.
And I've got gap seals in it back here. I don't know if it helps that much, but
yeah, they don't come with those gap seals.
No.
And you have an ADS-B on it.
I do.
Right there.
I do. I always feel like if the airlines coming into here that are traveling much faster than me can see me on their electronic gadgetry, that's much better than flying over the top.
Yes. And again, it's a Piper Super Cub. And what is it, like 36 gallons these things hold?
Yeah, it is 36 with both tanks full.
Okay.
Which is about 5 hours flight time.
And they are cloth covered.
This is all fabric cloth. And who knows the history on this plane. I don't know how much is original and how much has been replaced. It was a salvage title years ago out of Canada, and it's had quite a long history. But like many airplanes, they're rebuilt. I know I put a new fuselage frame in it in 2007. So it's got a relatively new frame in it, and the engine was rebuilt at that time, and so it's got a lot of life left in it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
these are from when it had floats on it, and these are the float steps.
Come on, you don't have to go say hi.
Well, I think we have a dog here visiting us.
Yeah.
What's your dog's name?
Tucker, he doesn't hear though. He's 15 years old.
Well, my wife accuses me of that, and I'm older than that. Let's go look inside, shall we?
You bet.
You're not going in that airplane.
Hey there, Tucker. Okay.
Come on, buddy.
This is the old Super Cub split doors, which is neat because you can fly with the doors open or closed. And sometimes when it's really hot, I'll just fly with the top open and the bottom closed, and like a farmer with my hand, my arm hanging out the side. It's a blast, yeah. If you want fun flying, this is the most fun airplane I think there is.
I think you're right. Yep.
They are so simple to use and operate.
Let's look at the panel. There shouldn't be much in here.
There's not.
Just a pretty standard Super Cub panel.
It is. There's not any glass in it until I put my my phone in here, and that's about the only thing with ForeFlight on it. That's what the RAM mount is for.
Yes.
Clips that in there. That way I can see other traffic. Other than that, it's all just standard gauges, and that's really all you need for this machine.
Very good. Well, I know I love these Super Cubs myself. They're one of the most fun things you can fly, and once you get proficient in one, it's crazy how much fun you can have with these.
Yes, and this one's about 1,175 pounds empty.
Which is light.
Which is a light Cub, just a good light Cub
Yeah.
with a 160 horse engine. It's well balanced that way. And so
Well, it's a beautiful Cub. Anything else to add?
my son is learning to fly in it right now, so that's making me happy. And my dad he had a PA-12, and he got his license years ago again. He wasn't current, and when I bought this, he got his license and just had a ball flying this for a number of years.
And he flew the PA-12 around Alaska, correct?
Yes, where we were in Homer, Alaska, he flew that. And then he bought a J5 for down here,
Yes.
and he still flies it. He's 82, so.
Wonderful.